calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. They'll be calling me royalty.
Close.
Howdy.
Cody. Or
Up. There we go. We're fixed now. Hey, now we're back. Okay, I'm gonna start that over again because you guys didn't hear anything I was saying. Welcome to the 2025 season 1 episode 1, whatever you want to call this thing. We're learning as we go here. This is the Moving Chicanes podcast brought to you by the Crown Jewel Racing Network, live from the Crown Jewel Racing Studio. I've got my admins with me here tonight. We got Garth Griswold, Stephen Mankey, Zach Johnson, and then the special guest tonight is going to be the 2024 ARCA champion, as well as the provisional 2024 off-season champion. We got my dad, Jim Mott, in the house. We got a full packed schedule for you guys here tonight. We're going to chat all things last season and then take a look at what we know about next season in terms of where drivers are going and what's going to be happening. So how you guys doing tonight?
great. Just
Doing
got
good.
some nice grub in the belly. Got some energy back.
Yeah, that's important. That's important. So my dad said he didn't want to stick around for the entire time. He just wanted to do his interview and then bounce on us because he doesn't like hanging out with us. So
Busy man.
yeah, I guess we
Not
can.
true, not true.
Busy man.
Well, we can start off with that though. So yeah, the 2024 ARCA champion. He ran all but what 2 races last season, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
2 or 3.
yeah.
It pays to show up, I guess. That's the bottom
No, I
line.
think-
It's kind of
I
like
think-
the ARCA real world.
I
It's
think
not the
one
one
week
who
he
wins
was
the
out with
races. It's who shows up at the track
That is true. I mean,
consistently.
Tony Bredinger finished like top 4 in the points because of that. So.
Exactly.
We'll run down some of your stats from last season. Let me pull them up real quick here, just to kind of let everybody know where we were at and how many people did run and all that fun stuff. So first place, you had 849 total points with 19 top 10s on 23 starts. So that was a 25 race schedule. So showed up to all but 2 races. Behind you was Bob Baker, and then I was out there in third. You won the championship by 98 points. You also led the league in incidents. So,
As usual, I'm well known for my incident counts. So
Yep.
yeah, keep it
Gotta get up
consistent.
to the front somehow.
But you did have 9 top 5s, and like you said, you showed up to the most races, and sometimes that's how you're gonna win them, and that's how it goes. Like you said, real ARCA, you show up. Here you show up. We're all about realism here in the Crown Jewel Racing League. So, overall, what were your thoughts? Because halfway through the season, we switched cars from the Gen 4 body to the Gen 6 body. What were your overall thoughts on that change, and did you like it?
Honestly, to me, it didn't make a whole lot of difference which car I was driving. I was pretty much the same results in either car. It didn't feel a whole lot different to me. Those level of cars are a lot easier to drive than going up to a Xfinity or a Cup car. I mean, you can tell the difference stepping from level to level, which cars are easier to drive, and definitely the ARCA level cars are easier to get around in, easier to control, less horsepower. So I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean the Gen 6 bodies are heavier. We'll only be running those, I think, for Daytona as long as iRacing follows through on their long promise of bringing the ARCA car. They said in the last dev blog update that it was coming next season, so not this season that just came out, but the following one, the first season in the calendar year of 2025, which would be 2025 season 2. So how our schedule aligns is the first race will be in that Gen 6 body with the modifications, which for those of you that are new here that are watching and may not know exactly what that is, we run the Gen 6 Cup car, but then we add 93 kilograms and then we take 5% out. So we run at 95% power. So the car's heavier, the car's slower, it generally runs tighter, and it's a lot of fun. But next season, we should only be running that body for one race at Daytona, and then whatever preseason races that we do. And then the next race at Phoenix, which is like 2 or 3 weeks after Daytona, it switches over to that new Gen 6, the actual Gen 6 ARCA car that iRacing is planning to release. Now, we are obviously beholden to iRacing on that, so if that doesn't happen, then we'll stick with the Gen 6 body, which, I mean, is still a ton of fun either way. I had a lot of fun. I personally preferred the the new style of the ARCA car that we changed to. But, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts overall, those of you that actually raced it?
Yeah, I mean, I've done even just with official stuff, a lot of ARCA stuff that way, and I did the first couple of races of the ARCA season, and it was running that and Gen 4 when we had the Gen 4 league at the same time was a bit of a kind of overlap. It got kind of burnt out with it, but when you guys decided to switch it to the Gen 6 body, and I only did the one Texas race, and I had a blast doing that. I love the Gen 6 on the super speedways as well, so it's kind of fun that we get to have it for Daytona, and then it switches over if they stay true to their word.
If they stay true to the word, yeah. Like I said, we're beholden to iRacing on that. But, yeah, overall, I thought Gen 6 car was just easier to control. Just because it is planted on the ground compared to the ARCA cars set off, the ground a little bit, and you don't get as much rear downforce as compared to the Gen 6. So yeah, but that's the plan for ARCA moving forward. Overall, what were some things you liked about last season, Dad, and what were some things you didn't like about last season in the ARCA series? We'll touch on the other series in a little bit.
The thing I liked the most probably was just the experience, the different tracks we ran. There's a lot of good tracks out there, a lot of fun tracks, and tracks we didn't see in other series. The thing I didn't like really was, I got to a point where there were some weeks people didn't show up because we were running some of these other tracks that they weren't used to or didn't have, or didn't get the turnout that we'd like to have. But I don't foresee that happening next season. I mean, we get a lot more people coming into the league this season coming up, and I feel like we should see 20 plus cars in ARCA every week, without a doubt.
I can give you some stats on that, and I know that there's some people that are only running certain parts of the schedule because of how it's sectioned out. But let me grab the actual count that we have right now. I think it was up to 40 last time I checked. But the thing that's going to be interesting is if we continue down the path of all three main series having franchise charter systems, then that's really going to affect the others. Like the ARCA series is going to be a lot of people that want to actually race the ARCA series compared to last year when there was we had racing 4 nights a week. If you're racing full time in one of the series and you can't race full time in the other series, I mean, that opens up the ARCA series to a lot more competitors in general. So I'm doing a count. Give me 1 second here. I'll tell you the exact number of how many people did sign up because we did have quite a lot of people sign up through the licensing and stuff. So let's see the official count, and I messed it up.
Vermont, while Corey's counting there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some questions from the chat. Did Corey like the Wiggles growing up? Can you give us some dirt on our CEO?
Honestly, he was never into the Wiggles, but he was more of a Barney guy.
Yeah,
He
I
did
was
like Barney before
big
Barney was
Barney. I was a
banned.
big Barney guy.
Yeah, yeah, he was
That
into
purple
Barney at one
dinosaur,
point.
man. Something about it.
Barney and Teletubbies.
Teletubbies
And
was where it's
yeah,
at.
the other one was
Yeah.
Bob the Builder. He did
Bob the
like Bob the
Builder.
Builder.
Oh yeah, I
a
love the
good one.
construction stuff. 32. That's the official count currently for ARCA signups. Now I know there's some people running partial seasons or the East only or the West only, but there's 32 signed up right now, and I didn't update the registrations in a couple of days, so there may be some people floating out there. So
That's great.
yeah, we're hoping to get 20 plus cars a night in ARCA. That would be really fun because, like I said, that was probably one of my favorite series to run in general last year. So
Yeah, and the ARCA series, the nice thing about it is the ARCA series has come a long way. I went to an ARCA race in 1997 at Pocono, and literally there was a team with an all black car with no sponsors, with four guys in t-shirts and jeans out there changing tires. They didn't have helmets or anything back then. I mean, you could just pretty much pull a car and, you know, buy a car out of somebody's backyard and put an engine in it and drive it back then. And now it's come a lot farther. There's a lot of up and coming drivers, and it's great to see people get better driving the ARCA cars now. And it's really come into a nice feeder series. So hopefully
speaking
we can do
of
the same
drivers
thing here.
getting better, a big signing in the offseason for Palmetto Motorsports. Now teammate, previous competitor Bob Baker. He was your second place ARCA competitor out there with 5 less races, but only 100 points within you. I have a feeling that he would have given you a run for your money if he showed up to every race.
Yeah, honestly, Bob puts a lot more practice in than I do. Um, and especially on the road courses, it's no secret that I'm a terrible road course driver, and I don't put a lot of work into them. I absolutely hate them. Not my favorite thing, but Bob puts hours and hours and hours in. He's got a lot of criticism over the last few years for some incidents he's caused, but he's markedly better than he has been in the past. So look out for Bob this season coming up. He should be a much better competitor as he develops.
I just had to get a little Palmetto push in there because of being in the ARCA talk. Because Bob was the second place finisher. He has shown remarkable change. I would put it. He's gotten
Growth.
a lot better. Growth. That's a great way to put it. Yes, he's gotten
He's putting the
a
work
lot
in.
better. For those of you that don't know, Bob Baker was the third member to join this Discord out of the 550 members that we have. He's been here quite literally since day 2. Jeremy T-Bon and Ryan Taft are the first 2. And yeah, so Bob's been here a long time. We've seen a full evolution and transformation of Bob Baker, and it's been fantastic. Garth, do we got any more questions from the chat?
Oh yeah, you betcha. What was your favorite race, Pop Mott, this year from 2024?
My
If you
favorite
can remember.
race.
I know you're getting kind of old. That memory starts to go as you get older, but
Yeah, I'll tell you, Garth.
Garth
It's
knows
tough.
from firsthand, but that's beside the point.
It's tough to say exactly what my favorite race was. I'd probably say the Richmond ARCA race. Um, I had a really good opportunity. So, for those of you not familiar with the ARCA series, you get one set of tires, and generally people stop at the halfway point because we get a competition caution to get tires. And I didn't do that. I took it all the way to the end of the race, and with about 12 laps left, I was the only guy left with a set of tires, and I was in 7th place. And I was just flying past people on the outside. And unfortunately, a couple cars in front of me got into an accident. I'd worked my way up to 4th with like 7 laps left and was moving forward, and I had a chance to win. And man, I was so happy with my strategy. It worked out perfectly until it didn't. But I had a lot of fun thinking that I had a chance because it's hard to win these races, obviously. And there's a lot of guys out there who win a lot of races, and obviously I've never won one in any of the Crown Jewel series. So that was an exciting one for me.
is that which one did the legend Jonathan Ledger make that last lap pass on?
Las
That
Vegas.
was Las Vegas.
that Las Vegas? I was like,
yeah,
okay,
Yeah, that was
so
crazy.
close.
That was crazy.
Throw that in there as well. The highlight
He was
of
like a
ARCA
rocket.
season.
Yeah, he split people, like it was like 3 and 4 wide, like on the bottom, and like passed like 3 cars on the last lap to get second. That was
He
his
wasn't
best.
lifting until he saw the checkered flag or Jesus.
Yeah, that was his best finish in Crown Jewel overall. So that was That was really fun. I guess the Arca series quietly produced a lot of fantastic racing moments last year, just because the way the car was set up, and it being a fixed set, a lot of people raced very close for numerous of laps, and it was more of a strategy of saving tires as opposed to having the best setup, which is a change in pace from our league, our other 3 leagues. So, what else you got from the chat, Garth?
All right. I'll get old Cody Leach in here since he decided to work instead of participate. He sent in a good one though, kind of controversial, so prepare yourself. Cody wants to know who grinds your gears the most last season. Cody says, I know you'd never turn anyone, but who did you want to give the bumper to the most? Besides Cody.
Oh,
Obviously,
honestly,
besides Cody.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I have incidents with people, and more times than not, I'm the one who causes the problem. Um, I recall a race at Pocono where I got slammed into the wall, and I can't remember who it was. I was running well in about 6th place, moving up between turns 1 and 2, and somebody put me into the wall. And I don't want to name a name because I can't remember who it was. And it was somebody
Is
who
this
had,
Pocono?
yes, Pocono.
Oh, Aiden Schramm. He doesn't race here anymore.
Aiden Schramm, that was the one. Aiden Schramm, yes. That's the one
I only
that
remember
got me
because
that
I
night.
remember every
Yes.
person that I've ever suspended in this league. You get burned in a little special memory bank, and
Yes.
and he got suspended for that race because of that. So yeah, that's Aiden Schramm.
Yeah. But honestly, Garth, I have a very short memory. I've caused more problems than people have caused on me, and I don't let it get to me. I just move on to the next week, and I know a lot of people get ticked off of me because I've done some dumb stuff. I've been around a long time in this league, as long as anybody. Obviously, I have more starts than anybody, but yeah, I'm not intentionally trying to wreck anybody. Sometimes my eyes get bigger than my talent, and I do something stupid. But a
What
lot of other people
about
have done that as well.
what about Ryan Taft under caution? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a
You know
tough
what? I love Ryan Taft. He's a legend of this league. He's like Bob Baker's one of those guys who's been here since the beginning. There's not many of us left, and it's funny because at some point, Ryan's cracking a beer and he's going to run over you under caution. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a given. And I don't get mad at Ryan because he doesn't mean to do it. He has no ill will towards anybody. So as long as he's not doing it all the time, it's just kind of one of those things where, somebody throws a grenade up in the air and sometimes you're going to be the guy who gets hit. So, yeah.
Interesting analogy.
very.
Yeah,
He's not out
Ryan.
there with any
Keep,
ill will
keep,
there.
keep an eye out for Ryan Taft, you full-time truck drivers, specifically under caution. That's the-
And the funny thing is, Ryan knows it, and he's done a lot. And once again, I don't hold it against him. I like Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome. Obviously, he decided to take a break from admin stuff on this rotation. He said that he was just burnt out from it, but hopefully he comes back. He obviously has given a lot to the league in terms of his time and his efforts, and he's really helped us over the years. So, really happy that he's racing full time at least this season in the Truck Series for us with his best friend Jeremy. What else
Yeah.
we got, Garth? We got anything else?
Oh, nothing worth reading off, I don't think.
Corey's favorite color is magenta. Magenta, Mr. Uberman.
That is kind of funny. You just said that, and the colors in my RGB case were literally purple. That was kind of
There you
weird.
go.
Color of Barney, I think.
It is the color
Yep.
of Barney, yeah.
Yes, Cody. We know you've handed out your fair share of bumpers.
And by the way, when Corey was about probably 3 years old, we bought him a M&M racing suit, helmet and all. He used to wear that thing until he couldn't wear it anymore.
I actually used to wear that helmet like as a motorcycle helmet when I rode my like electric dirt bike around the house. Definitely not heck approved or safe whatsoever. Like it would have probably broken into my skull had I actually wrecked with it on. But I did end up
Electric
wearing
dirt
that thing
bike
for
in
quite
the
a long
house?
time. No,
Is that
around
what
our
you
yard.
said?
No,
Oh, I thought you
around
said in the house. I was like,
around the
damn,
house.
Papa Ma. It's like,
You got
Papa
big
Ma, what
house.
kind of parent were you?
I had one of those Power Wheels cars, and there was like a little track worn in the grass around the house. He did laps and laps and laps in that thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
All right,
One
here's some
other
more.
thing he did was here's another one for you. We used to collect those little Matchbox size Hot Wheels cars with all the numbers on them. We had the Daytona track on this giant carpet. It was maybe 3 feet by 2 feet with the track and everything. Corey would line them up in the order that the cars were starting the race each week when he was like 4 years old. And he would sing the national anthem with the cars on the track. And then once they started the race, he would like run them around the track like they were racing. That was his big thing on a Sunday.
I was a true fan back in the day, and then I didn't watch NASCAR for about 15 years.
True. It's true.
All right,
Yeah,
here's some more questions though when you're ready.
Sure.
All right, so Mr. Leach asked, "Are you full-time Cup? And if not, will you make appearances?" I do believe you are a full-time Cup driving the number 19 Toyota this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Correct.
Where'd the 19 come from? Is that something you asked for, or did Corey just grab that and just give it to you?
Well, we were driving the Toyota numbers, and I knew that 45, 23, and some of the other more popular 54, all these numbers were taken. I'm not a big C-Bell guy, so I was like, just give me the 19. I didn't want something from Legacy Motorsports because they're not so hot. So I figured
Okay.
I'd go with the 19, see what we get.
Okay. Do you have a favorite driver that you know, when you're on the track around? Maybe it's me and you hanging out in the back of who you like to drive around or who you like to battle with.
Yeah, honestly, I like riding around the back with people like you, Garth, because I know, Garth's just kind of back there biding his time. I've always run the same strategy, except I seem to get caught up in things a little bit more than he does. But lately, running officials, I've been focusing on slamming the brakes on and just not trying to pass people in the accident. But yeah, I mean, I like racing with Garth. He doesn't run into me, at least intentionally. Of course, every now and then we touch each other, whatever. But who doesn't? Um, you know,
Pause.
sometimes some of these guys back there can be scary, as you know. But I'm just trying to stay out of the way and bide my time. I'm not sure how it'll work in the Cup Series this year because I'm going to try and possibly run it a little different. But yeah,
I could tell you, looking at this roster, breaking it down through everyone that's projected to be in which seats, that um, it's not going to be a year where you can just hang out in the back and hope for the wrecks. Like, I think we're really going to have to push it a little bit more than we did last year, based off the competition and just the amount of drivers we have here this season coming forward. Like, I think it's going to be a real competitive season this upcoming year.
no, I totally agree with you. I mean, we can't just lay back and knock at stage points, or you're just going to get buried pretty
Hmm.
fast. Um, you can do that strategy and hope to finish around 20th in points like I did, and that doesn't get you anywhere towards the playoffs. If you're going to have a chance to make the playoffs, you got to get those stage points.
I know you just mentioned the something you've been working on this offseason. It was just a question that I just popped in my head. What was outside of working on trying to not pass people under caution or during the wrecks, what else is the biggest thing you've been trying to work on to improve going into next season?
So a lot of what I've been working on is in officials. I've been working a lot on tire saving, hitting my marks better, things like
Okay.
that. Um, you know, hitting at the right angles, not overcooking it. Additionally, just trying to keep the car consistent, keep the wheels straight, and not tearing those tires up because that's probably been one of the worst things I've done. On top of car control is just not keeping consistent laps. Um, Working on that as well as working on qualifying better.
Well,
The um, season zero, I was qualifying, 19th out of 21 or 20th out of 24 every time. There's been some races last year where I was much better in qualifying, and I
Yeah.
want to just try and get more consistent and try and qualify a little bit more towards the front. Because when you get nothing against, the guys in the back, it's just the fact that if there's an accident and you're in the back, you're going to get caught in it a lot more than you would if you're you got cars behind you instead of in front of you. So trying to get better at qualifying, get a little more speed, and get more consistent speed.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing he didn't mention is he won 2 races last week, like real official
Yeah,
races. That's
yeah, I did
that's
win a
new for
couple of
him.
official races, which is rare for me. I've only got 4 official wins all time, but 2 came last week, and I've been running a lot better lately. So hopefully that trend can continue, and I can continue to work on car control.
I got a question that popped in my head because it kind of goes off of that. Uh, Last season, you were dealing with lingering injuries throughout the course of the season, just due to how much you were racing. Do you foresee that being an issue this year, or do you think it's going to be a little better because you're not running 4 nights a week for 40 weeks straight?
Well, let me tell you something, Corey. I'm old, and honestly, I mean, my ankles and my hands were, you know, 3/4 of the way through the season. I was having some issues with, a lot of pain and stress on the joints. So, yeah, granted, we have those crown jewel races, or 500 miles, 500 laps, whatever, now and then. But when you have a week of 3, 4 road courses in 4 nights, 4 and 4 nights, that takes a toll on me, especially shifting up, shifting down, braking, 13 corners on a track, that kind of stuff. I think this will be better because obviously there'll be less races to worry about, and additionally, when you don't race every night like that, you have more opportunities to practice and spend more time getting better at the tracks you're racing at. So I think, you know, I I'm the kind of person who will pretty much race any kind of race I can get in this league just because I enjoy doing it. But at the same time, that doesn't make you better in the long run. It's like being a basketball player who plays 4 games a week but doesn't have any practice. You know, you need those time sitting there on the free throw line, shooting the ball, working on your skills at different levels to get better. And I think this will make it better opportunity for that this season.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't know, he was dealing, like you said, with significant joint issues, specifically in his toes and in his fingers, gripping the wheel and then using his toes to brake, to the point where he thought he was going to need surgery. And then the season ended and his issues went away magically. Like 3 weeks ago, he was telling me he needed surgery, and now he's perfectly fine. So,
Yeah, I think I was just overusing the joints on my feet and wrists, so it's been better.
all right, Garth, what else we got out there?
No. Cody said, "Who is the principal owner of Palmetto Motorsports?" Which I don't really know if he knows what principal even means, but I don't think I
Uh,
even know what it means. Are you are
it's
you the real are you the real money bags behind the scenes? Is that what?
it's actually Julia Comic. Uh,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she's
well,
she's
that
the
kind of
silent majority in this, and basically she pays Corey's electric bill. So if you hear her getting upset with him, you might want to just say, "Hey, calm down, Corey," and say, "Yes, ma'am," walk away, or
that
this could all end tomorrow.
that that,
Honestly,
ti- that ties into who the really is the boss, Corey or his wife. So
yeah, I mean, we're
I
talking millions of dollars that could go right out the window in a matter of minutes. Plug pulled. So yeah,
Sponsoring
uh,
the number one iRacing series in the world, it takes a lot of money. So got to have those silent investors pulling the plugs.
Mm-hmm.
what else we have here? Oh, sorry, Cody. Cody says he does have an economics degree. So just for the record, there, my mistake. Papa, Ma, who do you think coming into next season has the best chance of coming away as season champion? Who do you think will win it this year?
Cup
Do you,
Series.
yeah, do you think Thomas Wolfe will repeat, defend his title since he lost some competition with Saunders going down to the Team Conti Sim Performance Stash Series. So it leaves like Corey, leaves Stephen Carlisle, he was there. Carlisle had a lot of second place finishes last year, never could get that win.
Yep,
I'm sure
yep,
that'll change this year. We got old Minky here, who here's with us. He was competitive last year. We got the villain Nick Vasquez coming
Yeah,
back,
don't
like,
forget about Nick. He
which
Nick pulls
driver do you think can do
2-3
it?
wins a year quietly, and if he can be consistent, you never know. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy the way things are set up because your top four go to Phoenix, and any one of them can pull out over with the championship. So it's just a matter of any of those guys getting there. I think it's hard to predict what's going to happen. And frankly, there's some new guys in there that we don't even know what they're going to do who might be fantastic. So we'll
Very
just have
true.
to wait and kind of see how it plays out.
So you're not putting your money on any one person yet?
Not
No big
yet. I
bet?
haven't seen the Vegas odds.
Okay. I'm sure
I'm not
Cody
putting
will
the
get
money on
those.
myself, but I'll do the best I can.
Meg, you were gonna talk for a second there, and then you got cut off. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't think anybody forgets about Nick, whether it's on track stuff or off track stuff. I don't think he's forgotten.
And it's hard to
Yeah,
forget
Nick's
him.
like,
I mean, he's in this Discord 24/7. I don't know if he even has a job anymore, to be honest with you.
Usually
He's been
screaming.
on all day recently. I don't know
Yeah.
either.
I
Yeah,
guess
Friday and Monday.
I guess it's because it's the winter and he's an AC technician, so maybe they just don't have as much work during the winter. I don't know. Probably Zach can talk better to that than I can, though.
No idea.
He's down in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
he's
be cold.
Texas.
His address is no. I'm just kidding.
yeah, Nick is the
For any of those, any of you
Eddie
that hate
Hamlin
him,
of the league.
for any of you that hate him, his address is.
Now, I got a question for all of us here. Just kind of in general, what was one race last season that you felt slipped away out of your hands, or you came up short where you could have done something to make the outcome a lot better?
Mine was springtime Martinsville race. Springtime Martinsville race.
Is that when you got penalized?
Survive through the carnage to make it to the green white checkered. Thomas Wolfe got a little loose. I got into his bumper, and back to the back I went. Even though I disagreed with it.
That was stolen away from you by Mr. Mankey here.
That was the one that I was like, "Ooh, man!" I felt like I was up there, and I actually legitimately had a chance.
You were up there at both Martinsvilles, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at surviving carnage. I don't know. I'm pretty lucky, I guess. It's definitely not because of my speed. That's for show. But that one's mine.
Mine was Gateway when I wrecked Thomas when I shouldn't have. I just got very like my dad said earlier is a perfect explanation. My eyes got bigger than my talent, and I just ran him over when I probably would have easily won.
Thank you.
I guess mine was probably Las Vegas right there at the end in the playoffs. I had a really fast car, and I outran Saunders. I outran Thomas Wolfe, which is really hard to do. And that was the race. Matt White decided to show up, and he definitely had the best of me. But 5 more laps, I would have got him too. But that one stung. But a week later, I took the victory at Miami, so that helped it a little bit.
Yeah, mine would have been the second Talladega race. I was 100 feet from the line, and the yellow came out on the green white checkered.
Yeah, that was rough.
And then I lost it coming out of 4.
Well, old Matt White will be returning this year, and for the Backroad Bandit Racing team operating the number 48 Chevrolet. So that will be some extra competition for next year, having him in there.
Yeah, we can kind of segue. We can segue into that if you want. Kind of talk about who's rumored to go where. I guess there's really only two seats in the Cup Series where we don't really have much of an idea of who's going to be there. All 34 seats pretty much have at least a driver that we know of. I guess we can just run it team by team for the Cup Series. So Backroad, like you said, they're bringing in 3 new names to replace Mike Burnett, Christopher Burnham, and Zach Saunders. So they lost 3 drivers. Thomas Wolfe assumed ownership and then transferred ownership to one of their new drivers, Nim Silva. So coming into the 20 car is going to be Austin Runkle, our resident broadcaster from last season. Nim Silva returns after a hiatus following his 6 starts last season to the 51. And then Matt White won his only start last season in the Cup Series, like Minky said earlier. And he's going into the 48. So, I mean, that's Honestly, a pretty solid team. Nim Silva looks much improved to where he was last year. Austin Runkle's an unknown. We saw him racing the Truck Series, but the Cup car is completely different. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then obviously Matt White and Thomas Wolfe have been proven winners in the Cup Series, with Wolfe being that champion and Matt White winning his only start. So what do you guys think about back row bandits this season?
Yeah,
I think
obviously. Oh, sorry, Mickey, you go.
I was just gonna say, definitely Thomas. You know he's gonna be a threat, and then Matt White. If anyone can beat Thomas every week, Matt White might do it, and I'm a little scared about him coming in, and definitely gonna have to step up our game for sure.
Yeah,
I will say I have an unpopular, I guess, a hot take related to Thomas Wolfe. I think he's very hit or miss. I feel like road courses he's always going to be there, but he always seems to be his own worst enemy. He seems to get a lot of penalties for procedural violations, whether it's choose cone or restart or something like that. That he always finds himself in the back, or speeding on pit road happened a lot too. Like I
And
feel
pitch
like
Mhm.
he had a
and
lot of procedural penalties last year. So I mean, if he cleans it up, then I think he'll be okay. But he did step on his own feet a lot.
And still won.
yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, obviously, Thomas, you gotta beat the champion. If you want a shot, and Matt White, the little glimpse of what we saw from him in his one start, did look scary, but we gotta know through week by week. It's a long season, so any guys can burnt out, fall off, anything like that can happen though. So
maybe we'll see some bandit on bandit violence.
that as
Them
well.
two fighting their way up front there.
We saw a little bit of that with Saunders and Wolf last
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were barely teammates, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah, we can move on to the next team. So the
Oh,
only
yes.
only unchanged team this season, technically, as of right now. So that's
Sorta.
Factory Motorsports. So we got Mankey who's in here, Nick, Ben, and then Xander is the rumor, which is pretty much confirmed. He
Xander's
signed up.
forward.
He signed up his form, so he's officially.
There we go. We did something.
I did have to. I'd had to ping him a few times to get him to sign up, but he did finally sign up.
Yeah, so he is registered. So as of right now, he's tentatively in that number 2 machine. So Factory Motorsports, the only unchanged team, a solid team. Ben Lawson really picked up his performance near the end of the season, surprisingly to me. That was my biggest
to start the playoffs,
thing
he
near
was
the
really
end.
good.
Yeah, he was really fast.
And almost
he
it
was
almost
almost a
correlated-
non-factor all season, not gonna lie. And then out of nowhere, he started getting really good. So I don't know what he changed or what he did. Maybe Mencken can speak better to that, but he was very
Yeah.
fast at the end of the season.
Yeah, we didn't give out any awards, but I think most improved. He would be on that list, and it's
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, at the start of the season, he joined the team. I didn't really know him, didn't really know how fast he was, but week after week he improved, and he was always fast on road courses. I think he came kind of from a road background. But yeah, in the playoffs, he locked it in. I think he started maybe practicing a little bit more, but he locked it in. He was able to stay up there with me and Nick, and we were a powerhouse team for a little bit there. He had a little trouble, blew an engine at Talladega, and got in a little more trouble and got him eliminated. But I think he was fast enough to move on to the round of 8.
Did you guys have two engines blow at Dega? Did
Uh,
yours,
Yankees,
did yours
Yankees
blow
blew at
too?
the
Or?
Roval.
Mine blew at the Roval.
So
Okay.
back-to-back weeks, the
Yeah.
Ford engine showing us what it really is.
Yeah, they really need to talk to Jack Roush over there. Having some issues.
But, Ben, it kind of reminded me of what Cendric started the playoffs with. It was just hot. He was up there with Blaney and Logano, and Ben was up there with you and Nick, and it was like, whoa, like where was this all season? And then I don't want to say reality set it, or it went back to reality, but like it kind of went back to what we more expected throughout the entire course of the season, where he's top 10, like that back half of the top 10 usually where I'm at, or the top half of the top 20, or because I know me and him all season ran around each other. Obviously,
Yep.
at some points, one was farther than the other one was up on the leaderboard, but yeah, I mean he definitely was him or Garth at the end of the season had a lot of speed too. Those are my 2 shortlist guys for most improved.
Yeah, I'm excited for my team. Hopefully, there's a lot of chat in the or a lot of chatter in the chat about Xander, especially from Cody. But I don't
Cody
know.
said, yeah.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. He says it's 100%. He says he's even getting like a new wheel and pedals, but
Well, I mean, he
I
said that
mean,
100%
we'll
gonna
see
make the playoffs too. But
in a week or in a month or so, and if we have to change that seat, we have somebody we can put in there. But Xander, I hope you come. I hope you show up next season because I mean he's a title contender. He's just as fast as
100%.
anybody here, and probably faster than. I mean, he's might be one of the fastest guys in the league. So to have him on the team is huge. I just hope he shows up.
Where's your trust level at with Xander right now, percentage wise? Are you like 50%, like sort of trust him, sort of don't? Are you at 75? Are you at 4? Like where are you at on that scale of how much you trust Xander to be there
To be there.
all year round this year, not just for the regular season and then miss the playoffs that he qualified for?
I don't know if I can put a number on it.
Oh,
It was
Don't play.
good. The first first half of the season, he was there every week pretty much, and someone got a girlfriend and started running around with the girl.
Yeah,
I think he learned from that, hopefully, and
Well-
hopefully he's back next season. And
love is a dangerous drug.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Xander started 18 races.
All
Had
of them before the playoffs too.
had 10
Yeah.
top 10s, 8 top
I-
5s, and a win.
I think he was leading the points. Me and him were
He
leading the
was.
points for a little bit, and
He was
stopped
up there
showing
with
up.
Corey when Corey kind of took over the reins of the points lead.
Well,
He was right
I
behind
was
Corey, and then
in
he
I
stopped
was
showing
there
up.
with until Zach missed Michigan, and then when he missed Michigan, I pretty much just pulled away.
Yeah.
It was a tight points battle for the first like 22 races of the season, and then like the last 4, I kind of just whatever pulled away. But yeah, factory's looking strong. You know, you guys have Jared in the background there, just kind of waiting to take that seat over. I talked to him the other day. He's just kind of waiting for Xander to say he's not going to show up. So I guess we'll see how that goes for him.
He's solid backup. I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Great
I love
backup.
Jared. Jared used to race on our team. For those of you who don't know, he took last season off, but Jared is very skilled. He's a very consistent driver. So I mean, factory's sewn over. No matter who drives that seat, you guys are good to go.
And you guys have 3 out of your 4 Xfinity seats filled. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the Xfinity seat or the Xfinity team looks pretty good too. We got Jared right now in the 2, and then we picked up Nick Basden. He's a new guy, but he's really fast. I think he raced in the Indy 500 the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and he ran up there with Ben. And then we got Rodney Roberts,
Oh,
and his return to the league.
Yeah, legend.
his third return to the league.
His third return. His tertiary. His third time's a charm return. Yeah,
But
solid
now-
over there. All up
Yeah,
and down.
right now we got the 6 open right now. So if you know anybody that still needs an Xfinity ride, we got a seat open.
There you go. There's his pitch. Obviously, one of the best teams, if not probably the best team in terms of overall talent, based on last season. So, they've got it going on over there. So if you need a seat, reach out to Stephen Mankey there.
Or,
I'll move on to
too.
still to Leach Brothers. Yeah. Move on to our team over here at Palmetto. We obviously had some change in the off season here. We actually only had a 3-car operation last season.
At the start we had 4, but
Yeah, Connor Wold dipped on us pretty early because he couldn't make the races. But now we've filled that void. We've kidnapped a Uber Motorsports driver by the name of Vince Mitchell. He's joining us over there in the number 18. And we got Zach to the number 45, my dad to the 19, and then I'm to the 54, making that move as a team over to Toyota with WRL Racing and Moonshine Motor Club. So our team feels strong. We had 2 playoff drivers. Well, we had 3 playoff drivers, I guess, technically, if you count Vince.
all round of 8
Yeah.
or higher.
Yeah, me, Vince, and Zach all made it to the round of 8. My dad was, I think, 60 points out of the playoffs, so we're going to try and improve on him for next season. Overall, we have 12 drivers in the program that are solid. I wouldn't say that all of them are going to compete for championships in their respective divisions. Actually, we have 11, not 12. But our Xfinity program is looking nice. We've got Caleb Sheets,
Former Xfinity champion.
former Xfinity champion. That's right. 2023 Xfinity Series champion Caleb Sheets. He's back in the Xfinity Series with us. And we've got 2 developmental drivers that Caleb's going to help out. We got Bob and Sam. So obviously, just some long-term league members down there, but really, really high on Caleb this season. He's going to be up there at the front. So, and then in our truck team, which we haven't talked much about trucks, which we can talk about Backroads trucks team too. But we got, the Illuminati of the league. We got Julia back there in the number 5, Noah Hunt, and then we got the long-standing members Jeremy T-Bond and Ryan Taft in the truck series for us. We got a really strong truck team of a lot of veterans. Noah Hunt, the new guy. Julia obviously raced a half a season last season. We've got 2 guys that have been around forever. I would talk about the Back Row Bandit team, but I don't know anybody besides Matthew Owens. I mean, they've got 3 Matthews on the team. Matthew Owens, Matthew R.D. Campbell, Matthew Cox, and Chris Davis for Back Row Bandit. Matthew Owens was a playoff driver last year in the truck series, so if it's anything, then if it's anything like last season, he's going to be a competitor. So truck series is going to be really interesting. Xfinity is going to be really interesting. There's a lot of seats open right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 seats right now that I don't know who's going to be in them. So we can kind of touch on those as we go. But overall, Cup, I'm feeling really confident. How are you feeling, Zach?
Real confident, especially on the super speedway side of things. I know Vince is always up there, and especially with the WRL moving to Toyota with us, and Cody being able to coordinate how he was with the Fords last year, gives me a lot of confidence that because us and Backroad didn't really work together last year on the super speedways, that we actually
Chevy was a mess last season.
That we actually have a supporting cast with us to help us, because I know we have the talent. All 4 of us, I could see winning a super speedway race. Yeah, I'm just really excited and pumped to have a supporting, like a sister team.
Yeah, to work with.
A WRL to work with.
Not just them. We've also got Moonshine, the other Toyota team. So we're the 3 Toyota teams. We got 12 Toyota cars next season. Or no, 11 because Cody only has 3. But really solid Toyotas looking next season. Really excited for that as well. Obviously we started pretty early on our hunt for our 4th driver, and we settled on Vince for the Cup Series and decided that Vince would be the best fit, and he was looking to make a team change, so we picked him up, and he won at Michigan late in the season, so that was really awesome. So we have 3 race winners on our team, and then obviously going into, like you said, super speedways, having teammates is going to be amazing. Like last season, we were literally we didn't have a chance to win a super speedway race unless we put ourselves in that position. Like nobody would push. It was very hard. Like the only person that we'd really work with was Steven Carlisle.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the only true ally we had as Chevys out there. I mean, Wolf and Backroad in the beginning of the season were doing their own thing, and then later in the season they're besides Hollywood, but Hollywood was hit or miss with the setups. Sometimes they were slow, sometimes they were fast. It was hard to tell when they were good to work with. So overall, I think we're going to be in a much better spot this year, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. But we were able to steal one of them last year at Atlanta.
We did.
Just being able to be up front, making the move at the right time, being able to control the field.
Yes, we
with
did
2
do
cars
that.
up there, which was good. I had a great chance at Talladega, like I said earlier. That one just slipped away, and actually a Chevy pushed a Ford past me for that win. So yeah, excited to get Vince's input on setup wise. I know he was strong. He got a win at Michigan as well. That if anybody has a replay of, he's dying and will pay his soul for. Yeah, I'm just really excited about this, and especially getting the switch over to Toyota.
Toyotas look cool.
Yeah, they do.
I like the hammerhead
I do.
nose on it. I think it looks really good. So, all right, moving on. We got previously Uber Motorsports, now rebranded due to licensing for the merchandise, we've got Tipton Harding Motorsports. They announced that last week. Obviously, Caleb Tipton and Stuart Harding Walker are going to maintain ownership of that team. They lost Vince last year, and then they only had 3 cars from what I remember. They lost Vince, and then they picked up an extra seat. So now they've got, as of right now, rumored to the 95 is Pete Morales, and then to the 9 is Hayden Higginbotham. So a couple of new guys in the Cup Series, a couple of Truck Series drivers. Hayden ran in the Cup Series part time last year. He was strong from what I remember.
Yes,
He was a
that's,
nice 10th to 15th driver. You'd see him sneak into the top 10 every now and then. So I mean, if he can build on that, that'll be really good for him.
Yeah, Hayden's one of those ones where if we could have a 5th car, I wish Hayden was on my team. Just he has the raw speed, especially even just like racing at the beginning season ARCA with him or doing different leagues, or he did a couple of Xfinity races, and he just has the speed. It's just he's always getting caught up in something, and I'm really excited that he's getting a chance in Cup and got a seat. I got a pretty good seat too, so I'm really excited for him to be able to showcase his talent and take full control of this opportunity.
Yeah, and as a Ford guy, all 4 of those drivers are great. So it's really encouraging that we can partner with them on super speedways. We lost WRL, we lost Cody, and that's going to be a pretty big hit. But picking up, well, they were Ford last year, but Stewart came in mid-season, and then adding the other 2, and they're solid talent. It's gonna, I'm pretty confident in super speedway still. Even next season, I think we can still run that.
It'll be yeah. I mean, Pete showed out. I mean, he made the playoffs in the trucks last season, and he proved that he was a Cup Series talent. So here we are moving into 2025. He's got a seat, and it's going to be up to him to show if he's worthy of it and to keep at it. We're heading on over now to Hollywood Motorsports. This is a team that was unchanged +1. So they had 3 cars last year, added a 4th car. So Alan Phillips, Nathaniel Campbell, and Garth Griswold stick to their normal numbers from last season. And then they're going to add Cameron Albertson to the number 14. He was actually an ARCA driver last year mainly. So how did that, Garth, I don't know if you want to talk to, how did that link up kind of happen? Did he have an internal connection?
That's all Nathaniel there. I know Nathaniel was hitting some people up there towards the end of the year trying to recruit. Originally, it was just going to be for an Xfinity seat, and then about a 5-second decision there on draft night, Nathaniel took another charter and moved Cameron on up. So, I was trying to think, do we even fill that other? I think our Xfinity seats are filled. I think we're just trying to fill that last truck seat. So. Anybody needs a truck ride, Hollywood's got a spot. But nope, that was all Nathaniel there. Really getting out there, recruiting in the trenches to really build our foundation below us here. So once I suck this year, then someone else can come up and replace me.
That's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be incentivizing team owners to put the best drivers in the cars. I think that it's going to be really interesting with this penalty system as people start accumulating penalty points, the different decisions that have to be made. Regarding who's racing where and how, and I'm sure we'll see at least one drama-filled altercation this year where somebody may lose a ride because they're just not keeping it together on the track. So we'll have to continue to monitor that.
Hopefully it's not from factory. I strongly foresee though some great articles coming out this year for some turbulence during the season.
Yep, for some high-profile teams.
I hope not. we had too much last year. I'm good with going under the radar this
It
year.
just gets the ratings up. It gets the ratings jacked.
Unless this race wins, I'm good with everything else.
Yeah, that's Hollywood. Like you said, you guys Xfinity, you guys put together a solid team down there as well. I mean, the only one that I know, actually, I'm missing the 76. I'm not sure who's there, but I know the 8 and the 82. You guys have Joe Gibbons and Jay Salmon, so those are 2 solid developmental drivers. Joe raced in just about every single series part time last season, and I think he's excited to dedicate full time to Xfinity this year. And he's got a couple of sneaky wins. He won 2 races in the Gen 4 series, so he can be a sneaky winner at times. You got to keep your eye on him, especially on those super speedways. So.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got some talent, and he's definitely growing week by week. I know he's put a lot of time in this off season, keeps getting better, improving. Um, and I think Nathaniel and the rest of us here at Hollywood, we have some high expectations for Joe, and also for Jay. Jay's coming in. He's done a lot of iRacing, knows a lot about iRacing. We have a lot of high hopes for him to come out and show us what he can do this year in the Xfinity series. So look out for him. All right, don't hit him on the backstretch. That's one thing I definitely got to say. All right, stay away from him.
Yeah, got a lot of off-season drama cooking there.
almost had to
Well,
write an
the
article
thing
about
is
it.
unironically enough, him and Justin are going to be racing against each other in the Xfinity series, so he's already caused drama between another Xfinity driver and himself. So,
Off-season fights. I love it.
yeah, seriously, racing for nothing. Another unchanged team, at least from the end of the season, is WRL Racing. Cody Leach, Tyler Bellinger, and Joe Wright. So obviously Tyler came in at Pocono last year, and then he was what we call the final knife into the back of Mike Burnett, kind of taking him out of Backroad Bandit, and he's been a staple in the league. He raced basically full time across every series except the ARCA series as soon as he joined this league. So he's obviously here to stay, and he's a solid driver. Another sneaky championship contender, in my opinion, is that 88 over to WRL. So that's again a huge pickup for Toyota, and really excited to be working with them this season on that front.
Yeah. The thing I'm most excited about is having the Donut Man himself as a manufacturer teammate. Especially his good luck at super speedways. It's he's got second twice now. The last 2 super speedway races. So excited for Joe, Cody, and Tyler to jump ship with us and hopefully get some wins on the super speedways.
Yeah,
I think
Tyler's real good. I'm really excited about that. Go ahead,
He
I
was
Greg.
think
a
they can.
runner up in Xfinity.
I think they can be a real competitive team this year. Tyler joined in late last year in the Cup Series, so I mean, I really think that a full series with or a full season with him riding, I think he'll be up there towards the top, definitely. As I know Joe Wright would like to be up there as well. So
Another Toyota team down there, Moonshine Motor Club. They got 2 pickups. One, I have no idea. I haven't heard any movement. I know that there's been posts out there, and it seems like anybody that wants a Cup seat isn't reaching out to these guys for their last Cup seat. It's still open as far as I'm aware, unless there's been some movement in the last couple of days.
I thought I saw something there in the recruiter chat here.
I saw
pull
that was
that
for
up as you're talking
Xfinity.
about it.
That was for Xfinity, though.
Okay.
That one, if it's the same one I'm thinking, unless it was recent, they were talking for their Xfinity ride to, oh gosh, what's that guy's name? He just joined recently.
Keith Hume?
Hume, yeah, Keith Hume, I think.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Yep, sorry,
my
Keith.
understanding is that's for Xfinity.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that are complaining about not having a Cup Series ride, and there's one sitting right out there, and they're waiting for people to reach out to them. So
all they gotta do is pay the $15 to race a Toyota instead of a Chevy or Ford.
yeah. So for those who don't know, Moonshine Motor Club, Tommy Carroll Jr., Ray Gill, Thomas Villano joining the ranks over there. Another guy that raced pretty much every series full time last year when he could was Thomas Villano. He's joining full time Moonshine for the Cup Series this year in the 35. Then Tommy and Ray return apparently this year on better setups now that Thomas Villano's on the team. So
especially at the end of the season there, they were really struggling setup wise.
I heard they were using VRS for a majority of the year, which is basically running a fixed set.
Yeah, if you were driving behind them, you could just see the back end of the car moving the entire corner, and it was just nothing that they could do. It would have had to been major adjustments
Well, Toyota was very thin last year. They were pretty much the only full-time Toyota team, so they had no
They had
resources. So
no straw.
TRD has come in and bolstered the ranks. I heard they're going to be on outlier setups this year, which is a step up from VRS. So they should be a nice competitive, in my opinion, mid-pack team. Thomas is going to probably peak around the top 10. And then obviously Ray, when he's on his game, Ray and Tommy can both be top 10 drivers. I've seen it flashes, but obviously now that they're in better equipment for next season, they should improve mightily. I think Ray actually would have been close to the playoff hunt had he not gotten a 75-point penalty at Charlotte with Nick. So they're a sneaky team. They'll probably have one playoff driver, I would guess, next season. And then they could sneak a win or two away at the super speedways working with the other Toyotas. So a very interesting team to watch, in my opinion, would be Moonshine Motor Club going into the season.
I concur, especially with Thomas Villano joining in. Thomas has some speed as well. He will definitely be up there, possibly causing chaos towards the front, but will definitely be up there competing for a spot there in the top 10 every race.
Then we go down to the single car team, staying the same down there. Ethics Racing team. Steven's going from the 7 to the 81 this year. So got a number change. Best graphics in the Crown Jewel Racing League, hands down, go to Ethics Racing team.
100%.
Somebody needs to hire that man for the league graphics, because it's a lot better than I could do. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise.
What is he not good at? I haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not gonna
Winning
say
races,
that.
apparently, because he can't break the
That's what I was
barrier.
gonna say, but I didn't want to just say it.
Well, no, he did
No
win.
disrespect.
He did win
won
in the
the All-Star
preseason
race,
last year.
right?
He won
That
the
is
All-Star race, and he won an Auto Club in the preseason last year. So he won 2 races in the 2024 calendar year, both of them non-points paying.
That's just
Rough.
tough. That's tough.
That is rough.
Like
I
winning the
know.
cash and not win any race.
I felt real bad just asking him, every week after a race, like, "Hey, what'd you think about the race?" And he's just always, "Oh, another second, another second, another second." He was dying for that win. He was drooling over it. Just kept on just coming up just a hair short. Sometimes it's just some bad luck. Sometimes just couldn't catch the guy in front.
But yeah.
So
But I think he's gonna rattle off 3 or 4 this
Mhm.
year.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. 'Cause
He's
that's
gonna
why
be-
I remember.
Interesting fact about Steven, I think this is true. You can quote me on it until he says otherwise, but I'm pretty sure he builds all of his setups from scratch himself.
Get out.
I know that.
I don't think that he may work on a base set. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive, at least at the beginning of the season, he was building his own sets from scratch. So I'm almost
Carlisle,
positive.
If you are watching, please comment right now.
That's from what I gathered, but from
That's
the
even more
conversations I
impressive.
have with him. But yeah, I think he was building everything on his own. I think that was one thing that he really liked doing is building setups, and I think that he's been doing it on his own for this season. But he may have switched, because at the beginning of the season he was asking about like gear ratios and stuff like that for when he was building his setups. So my theory is that he's been building his own setups, but I think
Crazy.
Yeah.
He had a lot of bad luck there at the beginning of the season, getting caught
did.
up in other people's messes and destruction. And I was like, "Hey, that guy is just having a rough time." And then he just, like, I don't know, mid part of regular season, just kicked it and turned it on and didn't look back.
And
I mean, that's the struggles of being a 1 or 2 car team, is that you don't have a
Mhm.
lot to lean on out there, so.
And if his power didn't go out at Talladega, he probably
Oh, yeah.
won the Vate.
Them damn
So-
Hurricanes, man.
Yeah, for real. He literally got eliminated from the playoffs by a hurricane.
That's tough. It's just
Moving down
would've
to oh no, go ahead. If you have something
I
else.
said, I was just gonna say I would have moved after that. I was like,
To
nope,
move
picking up, moving.
Yeah.
Where's there not disastrous weather?
Yeah, exactly. Moving down to the other new team, new manufacturer buying into the Ground Jewel Cup Series here. Honda joining for Zanderville Unlimited Incorporated. So they're going to be running the Honda Civic this year, I'm pretty sure. That's going to be the 11 and the 1, Nashil Condor, and another open seat right now. But this one seems a little more closed off than the Moonshine seat. He kind of seems like he's got some candidates in mind about who's going to be racing for him. But I mean, if you're looking for a cup ride, wouldn't hurt to reach out to Nashil. Obviously, new team. Nashil is very consistent across all the other series. Another one of those guys that raced almost every single series successfully. So it's gonna be really interesting seeing him race full time this year in the Cup Series. I think that he's another one of those sneaky playoff contenders.
For sure.
I didn't even see him in the recruiting chat. Has he been trying to find one for
He's
that? Or?
like I said, it's kind of closed
you
off. He's
Yeah.
he's kind of doing his own thing. He's not being public about who he's recruiting. There was a name being thrown around who's since signed full time in the Truck Series, so I think that fell through. There's a lot of controversy with that person, so you can kind of assume who that is. But
Yep.
he's got
Juicy.
he's got some eyes on some different drivers, but that seat could go to just about anybody. You might see an Xfinity driver get their seat taken or take away. An Xfinity owner getting one of their drivers taken away for that Cup Series seat. So we'll have to just continue to monitor that. Let's see how it goes. But Nashil's he's putting together a little quietly good operation over there.
Yeah.
With the Hondas.
With the
know,
Hondas.
Always reliable lawnmower motors, I gotta say. Always.
Yeah.
You could not put oil in that thing for a year and that thing will still crank every time.
If they have any success like they have in IndyCar, I mean, it could be a good investment.
Could
Pretty
be.
good on dirt bikes too.
Yeah. We got the part-timers down there. So these are going to be like the Rick Wares. We got Kalhoff Beach. They got they've got one car running part-time, multiple drivers. So Michael and Henry are going to be sharing that ride as far as I know. I believe they are going to throw some other guys in there from their other programs down beneath, but I'm not 100% sure how much they're going to be racing. They haven't released a full schedule, but Henry's a great driver. He's been bouncing around in the Truck Series, ARCA Series for a while, so I could see them, being competitive at times in the Cup Series up there, and that 57, may find its way to the front every now and then. Outside of that, I think it will be a mid-pack car. Just overall, just because it isn't somebody racing Cup every week, it's hard to, especially in this league now, maintain consistency throughout when you're not racing full time. It's just very hard.
Yeah.
And then underneath them, another interesting team that's on the rise. They actually picked up a third Xfinity charter a couple nights ago after a team had some changes and decided to drop one of their charters. But that's going to be Hoff Motorsports Group. They've got 2 Cup seats. Mason Hefner in the 30 and Jonathan Legger returns to the Cup Series in 28. Another Chevy team. Jonathan has been improving steadily, as has Mason. Mason has been slowly getting better as well. Another one of those guys, or one of those teams that's on the rise, I would put them at.
Yeah, Jonathan's sometimes you have a glimpse and he's got speed and it's, well, where has this always been? And then sometimes your head scratching. So it should be a fun. It's gonna be fun having Jonathan back for a couple of races, or for however many races he does.
He's running full time.
Oh, he's running full time. Okay,
Full-time,
well, it's
yeah.
gonna be nice to have Jonathan back every week. I'm sure my job as being in charge of the race control will be just as fun, with him trying to explain to him that he can't drop to the end of the field whenever he wants. But yeah, Jonathan, as long as he doesn't kill me at Talladega like he almost did this year, should be fun racing around him.
Here's the big one. Dallas Pataska.
Yeah.
I messed his name up. I called him
Way to
Pastraka
murder
the
that.
other day. He did not like that. Dallas Pataska. He is a very talented racer. 6,000 I rating. For those of you who don't know, full time, coming into the major, or from Majors Esports Garage. So they are going to be a extremely competitive team right off the bat. It's one of those people where you haven't seen him race yet, but you know that he's going to be competitive. Kind of like Matt Waite. We saw him race once, but we know he's going to be competitive. Dallas is joining the league here as a rookie. and he's going to be extremely competitive right off the rip. I foresee him definitely going deep into the playoffs this year, just based off of his statistics alone on paper. But really excited to see how he performs. Obviously, this league has not been kind to new people. It's very tough.
No.
There's not a lot of space out there. Guys get frustrated. I'm going to be interested to see how he handles that, how he manages that, because like real life in the Cup Series, guys that may not be as skilled, in terms of like on paper, statistically, they run high. They run hard. They run high every single lap. You are grinding out positions. It's long races. You have to be consistent for long periods of time. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how he handles it, because there's been some higher I rating guys that have come in the past that get frustrated because they can't win every single race, and they can't win
Yeah.
even any races at all. So it's gonna be very interesting.
And it's something too where we kind of know, especially because we have a good amount of returning guys. We kind of know what's going to happen with some of these guys, how they run. Cody's going to get up in your grill. Gart's going to give you a little extra room. You know what you can give and take with certain people, and these new guys coming in don't know that. And I think that's, at least for the first 5-6 races, trying to just learn how everybody operates throughout a race is going to hinder him a little. But after that, then he might be smooth sailing from there.
I think that Dallas is going to be the one that benefits the most from the preseason, because he's going to have 2 races to get to kind of know, like, okay, this is what it's going to be like.
Even Matt and even all these newer guys, these faster guys, who wasn't around nearly enough or at all. They're going to benefit hugely from the preseason.
Yeah, so we'll have more news on that probably in next week's podcast. We'll probably be talking about the preseason a little bit. We'll have it finalized and out there for everyone. That's a this week kind of plan for me to get that figured out. But I think it's going to be, he's going to benefit heavily from the preseason, and he's also going to be a very competitive racer right out of the get-go this season. I foresee him winning a couple of races and figuring it out. But he needs to understand too, there's going to be a lot of time that it's going to be it's tough out there. There's every single high I rating guy that comes in here and thinks that they're going to kind of move around, which I'm not saying he's got the ego like that. I'm just saying that there's, these guys, I've seen it happen a few times with this league, and they come in and they're like, oh, wow, these guys have 2,000-3,000 I rating, but like the racing is tight. The racing is hard. The racing is tight. You have to grind for every spot. It's realistic. You got to come in, you got to earn your space. People, you got to make yourself known, and hopefully he enjoys it, because it's a ride. It's so fun.
Sometimes you just won't have room going down the backstretch of Pocono, and you'll get turned, and hopefully he doesn't disappear after that. So
he's in the chat. He just said he's more concerned about his bladder than anything. I honestly, I would say that Jim Mott is right there with you. He left a little earlier, but he takes a couple of bathroom breaks and gives up some track position for it. So. And then we got the next team, 2 more single car entries now at the bottom here. Eternal Phoenix Motorsports. So that's going to be Noah Spalding, really unknown. The races that he hasn't run full time in any series, so the races that he has ran, we don't really know. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Neither do we know about his team name or what it's going to be next week either. So
that is true. It may change. Yep. He's had like 6 or 7 different team name changes since he's decided he was going to have a team. So, Noah Spalding is probably the most unknown out of anybody in the Cup Series this season. He got the luck of the draw on the charter or on the franchises, so he gets the race, and he'll have to prove himself for sure. Another one of those situations where again, a fresh meat coming into the Cup Series, having to grind their way to the top. So, talk about not so fresh meat, someone that's been around a bunch of different series. That's going to be John Connor. He's taking the last franchise spot, the number 97 for John Connor Motorsports. He's building a franchise over there as well. He's got a lot of drivers underneath him, Xfinity and trucks. So he's building the team out. John Connor is a very consistent driver, again, and one of those truck series playoff drivers that was very consistent throughout the entirety of the truck series. So it'll be very interesting to see where he kind of slots in the Cup Series. I mean, I could see him being really skilled, and I could also see him being very, mediocre. It's going to be interesting to see. where he slots in. Because I mean, there were some races in the trucks that he like was running away with, and then there's some where he was just nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I was like, when he started coming on there at the end last year, I'm like, where has this guy been all year? This is like, I did not realize he was as talented as he was. But there at the end, I think it was probably like at Kansas or so, is kind of where I was like, man, he is fast this week, and it seemed to just keep carrying every week. So I
Bristol
don't know.
too. Bristol in the trucks. It was like, where the heck did he come from? He was at the
I
front for
I
like
think
the entire race.
I think he
He
found
raced.
Team Conti, and he just,
Yeah,
went on a explode there after getting into Team Conti server and kind of learning from them of what to do. So
he didn't race many cup races last year, but he raced a few, and he did race Bristol, and he was kind of running away with it, and I was a little worried about his tire saving, but he was a half a lap ahead of second there for most of that race.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that really helped me at Talladega after my teammates were taken out. So him and Nikhil I get along very well with those two, and it'll be fun to be full time with those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of rounds off the Cup Series, and obviously, every week we'll kind of take a look back at this and see if there was any changes or anything that was filled in, and then just kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting close to ready to wrap. What do you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before we end this out for the return here?
Oh, make sure you guys visit the merch store. Get your merch
Yeah,
for your
please buy
teams,
merch.
for the league. Make sure you guys get in there. It's too late now. If you buy, it won't be there in time for Christmas. But hey, you can get them gift cards, and then people can go buy stuff after Christmas. So if you're a terrible Christmas shopper like myself and you don't know what to get people, gift cards are always the way to go. Working on team stores. I think Calhoff Deach is the next one in the shoe or getting worked on right now. If any other teams want to get their teams into the team stores, just let me know, shoot me a message, and we'll get you added on there. So
Yeah,
not only does it support you guys, it also supports us here. So
just from me, just the guys that are watching right now, if you are at all any interested in race control, helping out us for the season, kind of more behind the scenes type thing, or media team. I know Garth wants to write all the articles, so he just needs photographers
it's
and videos.
it's 100% correct.
Please reach out to us if you are interested in race control or being a part of the media team. We do need guys who are gonna be willing to write articles and just help out us and make our jobs a little bit easier.
Yeah, buddy.
Cody did say in the chat that media day is coming. I don't think we've solidified an exact day for that, but we will have a media day
No,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
everybody.
we're definitely working on that.
and
So
That's like all things
Steven,
that
I
Cody,
don't.
he just says it's going to happen, and eventually, 2 days before you find out that it's happening, kind of like the podcast. We decided, we're gonna announce it 3 hours before it started.
Steven, I don't think we got a victory speech from you from your election win.
We did not. I
I think we
didn't
need
have
a
to.
victory speech.
I don't. I just shoot. Thank you everyone who voted for me. It was a nice victory. I like doing this job. This is a fun job so far. So I'm gonna try to do my best for the next 6 months and hopefully longer. But for the next 6 months, we're gonna start the season off good and get the ball rolling here.
I will say those tickets disappear fast. Like sometimes I don't even get to read them anymore, and I'm like,
I never did.
what was that ticket? And it was gone. And
There were
I'm
a couple
like,
of times I've
"Dang."
had to go into the archives to see what the hell's
Yeah.
going on in the league.
Ah,
I
dang.
I try to leave them on there for like a little bit, just in case the person that made the ticket wants to go back and look at information. But yeah, I try to process them real quick. I got notifications on, so if y'all need a ticket, need assistance through anything in the Discord, don't be afraid to do it, and we'll get to you.
He's picked it up real fast. Cody, I don't think Cody's ever looked at a ticket in his entire life. So he's been an
Except the
admin
one
for
from
Unless
almost,
he's pinged. Unless he's pinged.
and then he's
Being
working
somebody's
and
lawyer during.
yeah, or he needs to be part of a trial.
He said
That's
liar.
the only thing he lives for.
Cody also did say wanted to say thank you for he is grateful for being reelected. So, just to throw that out there for you.
Yeah,
I
so,
think he's really shown it tonight being here. So,
That's all I got for this first one. Kind of just wanted to touch on mainly the Cup Series, and obviously we're going to be hitting on all the champions from last year. I'm going to try and get one or two champions every week here until we get them all covered. Thomas said he's down to do it. We just got to find the right day for him, and then obviously I gotta reach out to Stuart and Zach. But we'll get everybody that won a championship on the podcast, get them their interview, talk about last season, talk about next season, and kind of just start off this off-season podcasting that way. Obviously, we'll probably take a break over the holidays and then pick it back up with the preseason. But the plan is to do this every week, just kind of recap, talk about what the races were, any drama that's going on, and obviously with the real NASCAR season going on, we always touched on that a little bit during the regular season as well. So that's kind of the plan with the podcast. We're going to hope and shoot for every week, but obviously it gets hectic in the season, so we may miss every now and then. But yeah, thanks to you guys for coming out. It's been awesome hanging out with everyone. I'm really, really excited to have this back out there as a platform and giving the members of the community something to not only watch outside of race days, but also participate in. Bringing you guys in and having a chat. So yeah, thanks again to everyone. And any final words from anybody else?
No, thanks for tuning in. Let's all hope that we can be faster than Thomas Wolf next season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Cheers
the
to that.
excitement's just starting, and it's gonna grow and grow. The hype's gonna
Yeah,
get
I don't know about
huge
you, but
before
I'm
Daytona.
I'm getting that itch to get back into iRacing, and
I know, me too.
I'm no
I
longer
don't know.
burnt
I've been
out.
flying so much. It's been so relaxing.
Hey, you should probably do something else.
I know.
You get
I want
burnt
to play Valorant. You want to play Valorant tonight?
No, I'm not playing Valorant.
I started making some schemes for 2025, and yeah, the excitement's gonna
Just
only
starting
grow
to
from
boil
here.
over. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, we're only about a couple. I mean, preseason's probably gonna be in about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. So it's just about here. So season's right upon us. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention. Well, I got a bunch of you here. Make sure you guys sign up for the Coca-Cola 600 meetup. I'll send the
Yes,
link again. We need to plan that because there's a lot more people signed up on the interest form than actually signed up for the registration form. So if you want to go to Coca-Cola 600 and do the meetup, and we're going to try and do it as cheap as possible because if we get a bunch of people, we can do that. Make sure you guys fill out the form. I'll post it here.
And we will be doing a raffle, and whoever wins will be able to sleep in the same room as Corey Mott.
No, that's not gonna
So
happen.
Make
That's
sure
not
you
happening.
sign up.
No. No, thank you. That is not going to be a raffle, but I will have some Team Conti merch to raffle off. So that will be something. We'll have
Some
Team
merch.
Conti merch. We'll have Crown Jewel merch to raffle off at Coca-Cola
Garth,
600 meetup.
That's a long ways from misery.
Come on. I'm going from Wisconsin. It's not that far.
That's a good point. You don't got 2 kids though.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
but
a
I gotta
wife.
take care of Nick all weekend. That's essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that Memorial Day?
Yeah. Memorial
Yeah,
Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry, I have off
We'll
work.
have school that Monday.
We'll see.
Everyone convince Garth to go, please.
I'll only do it if I get to stay in Corey's room.
No.
There we go. We found our winner.
All right.
Absolutely.
We found our winner.
That's all I got. We'll be back next week. We're gonna probably do these on Mondays until the season starts, and we'll solidify a different day to do it. But as of right now, we'll do it. We'll do it next Monday. So we'll see you guys back here next Monday. Everybody, have a good night. Thanks for showing up, and really excited for this season.
Peace.
taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.